Ciao, this is your wise ass astrologer, and with the new moon in Gemini, or Gemelle as it's called in Italian, we have to be confident adapting to the twists and turns of life and feeling our way through it like the twists and turns of this Gemelle pasta here. And one of the turns is the planet Saturn in Pisces going retrograde today, which I will get more into at the end of the video when I talk about the planetary transits. Venus and Mars are conjunct in Leo, so love me, yeah? And Venus in Leo is ruling Jupiter in Taurus, which means the heart and love of drama in Leo is shining upon how we open our Taurus throats and voices to reflect our hearts, producing a clear and steady tone to stabilize the road ahead. So right now, when you love somebody, kiss them with all your heart, or when you worship someone, give them great oral sex, like they are a god or goddess, and good and plenty, to stoke their ego and stroke their Leo. And the sun is still in Gemini ruling Venus and Mars in Leo, which means we can connect Leo and ego like Legos to be bold and beautiful right now. The star of our own Toy Story, like turning a game of Tetris into a striptease. All right, wise ass, you say, we got it. Be a rhyming fool, dig our own vibe, and be so in love that we drone on and on until people think we've gone bonkers, ignorant to the world around us. We got that part, wise-ass MC Hammerpants. We understand that the sun in Gemini ruling Venus and Mars in Leo says, you can't touch this greatness, but can you break it down, please? Very well put, and I will take some time to break it down because we all have to be in love with the sound of our own voice right now and unfold the big picture for people in a very slow, patient, and thorough manner. So Mercury is driving everything in the sky right now. Mercury is in the sign of Gemini, and Mercury is ruling the sun in the sign of Gemini. The sun will be in Gemini until this Wednesday, June 21st. The sun in Gemini is ruling Venus and Mars in Leo, and then Venus in Leo is ruling Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. And Jupiter in Taurus is ruling Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. So we will be connected to everything. Gemini is Mercury's home sign, and here it connects things, rearranges things, molds things, and adapts the rhythm of the incoming stream of information so it can flow easily into the current environment of the world. Gemini presides over the hands, arms, shoulders, lungs, and rib cage. So as we hammer and breathe these connections and rhymes into our hearts, the sun in Gemini will be the featured MC, disseminating doses and drops of Venus and Mars and Leo on the mic and entertaining you with love. Now, when we are connected and hip to all the different factors in the world, the power of all that love will be strong. Leo reps from the heart, and the power of Mars will be driving and thumping the love of Venus from the heart. But if we are just repeating nonsense information and rhymes to show off and draw attention to ourselves so we can drone on and on and on about our beliefs, well, then the sky will tell us that we have to get our hands on info that is more legit. So, as I said, Venus in Leo is ruling Jupiter in Taurus right now. The sign of Leo presides over the thoracic spine and the heart, and Taurus presides over the neck, voice, the tongue, and lower jaw. So when the love in our heart is real, our voice will spout forth calming, steady Jupiter in Taurus wisdom. Our mantras will come out sounding like Barry White as a Hare Krishna. Our mantras will leave our throats and reverberate all the way down to the bottom of the ocean floor. And Saturn in Pisces will accept the bubbles of wisdom as a foundation for our feet to build off of. There's a fine line between being a Weisenheimer and a wise-ass MC Hammerpants. And I'm going to stand here for a second and bask in my own cleverness and wisdom. Because we should take some pride with how artfully we express ourselves, and then take some time to enjoy and appreciate the journey that leads us forward. Shout a little bit louder now. Relax and wait a minute, and then repeat it again. Shout. The Isley brothers know that with Jupiter in Taurus, we have to say things enough times until we believe it and have faith in it. If we accept the truths within, it will give us solid footing. Right now, we will sometimes stubbornly double down on our beliefs and humor. We can be quite proud of our beliefs and humor and say things all over again, just louder and prouder. When we are in love, we will moan and groan the way the sun has shone. Wait, shone, S-H-O-W-N, or shone, S-H-O-N-E? Which one? Now I'm confusing myself, but it doesn't matter, as long as it has artistic flair, because Venus is in the sign of Leo all summer, the sign ruled by the sun. Venus in Leo loves to entertain, but with Jupiter in Taurus, we have to make sure we do not get stuck or typecast with our style of humor. Unless it's me repeatedly bringing up the topic of oral sex in every astrology video. And with Uranus, the oddball planet, also in Taurus, our humor can be brilliant and quirky in a repetitive way, because we can go on with the same old humor, things that are reliably funny, tried and true, especially humor relating to oral explorations. Like Americans always make the same tired-ass jokes about Canada and their food poutine, with its French-Canadian cheese curds. And Americans also always make the same jokes about Britain and their food, be it their bangers and mash, cheese and onion crisps, or how their Somerset cheddar is singing in the rainy weather. But in reality, with Venus and Mars and Leo, we should eat healthier things for our hearts, keeping in mind that we want to be both graceful and physically active. Maybe lighter Neapolitan-style margarita pizzas, which have less cheese, or tomato pies that have almost no cheese, maybe a pizza with a whole wheat crust, or, for those who are on the gluten-free diet and have a lot of planets in Virgo in their natal chart, a cauliflower crust. Also, there are certain jokes about food we shouldn't make because there are different cultures throughout the world that have culinary traditions that were born out of oppression and foods that were forced upon them. This is something I want to emphasize. I particularly want to emphasize it because Jupiter in the sign of Taurus is ruling Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which means we want to enjoy food. We want it to taste good. But sometimes we have to accept whatever food falls at our feet, the food that others threw out. And we have to make that taste good. We have to make magic with that. Jupiter in Taurus is about luck with flavor and luck with sustenance. And Saturn in Pisces is about being practical with whatever has fallen at our feet that other people don't want. The process of accepting picked over food and produce and somehow turning it into something that is both palatable and allows one to be functional is somewhat miraculous. But this also might be a very sensitive issue for some, because the magic of many cultural and regional cuisines came from having to absorb brutal oppression and the realities that had to be accepted with that. So that is something that Saturn in Pisces accepts, yes. But Saturn in Pisces also wants everyone in the world to be sensitive to those harsh realities that many have gone through, and some continue to go through. And white people from the land of USA, heed my advice. It doesn't matter how much you eat at KFC. It doesn't matter if General Tso's chicken is your favorite food in the whole world. Do not make racist jokes about chicken, because one thing Jupiter in Taurus teaches us, well, other than obviously teaching us how to make jokes about food, it teaches us that if we are ignorant about things, then we will have to learn. So, if you are white and you are making racist jokes about chicken, I am not necessarily saying that you have a bad heart. And I am not saying your heart is in the wrong place. But going forward, you will have to learn the history and context about some things. And sometimes learning the history and context about things is a good thing. Jupiter in Taurus can be stubborn and resistant to learning about new things. But if the lesson has obvious value, Jupiter in Taurus will absolutely be open to learning about new things. So if there are gaps in your knowledge, use Jupiter to learn about the holiday of Juneteenth this weekend, which is an American holiday that is celebrated to acknowledge the abolition of slavery. It is a holiday that emphasizes the following lesson about the early years of America, that as much heart and beauty that America thought it originally had upon the country's conception, that some of it was for show and ego, and that once America had true heart, it would value everyone's pursuit of happiness. When our hearts are beautiful right now, we realize the value of knowledge, as knowledge allows us to be able to more fully absorb and understand some of the difficult obstacles that humans have to work through. So that is the Venus in Leo, Jupiter in Taurus, and Saturn in Pisces vibe we are aiming for right now. Now, I could leave it at that, but I guess I should also mention that Jupiter in Taurus also reminds us that even after the abolition of slavery in the USA, for up to 100 years following this, many business owners were very, very, very slow and stubborn about opening their restaurants for all customers and allowing everyone to pursue the happiness of dining out. Jupiter in Taurus can be very slow and stubborn about the pace in which it moves forward with freedom and acceptance. Now sure, some people can drone on and on and on about their ideas and beliefs about politics and things. But Jupiter in Taurus knows that it is better for people to drone on and on about their beliefs and ideas about food, their ideas about eating, and their ideas about oral sex. Isn't it better to listen to people drone on about their ideas about food, kissing, and oral sex, rather than their ideas about politics or any social awareness? 'Cause dude, social understanding and shit is like so Jupiter and Aquarius. Like it's much more fun to be a food enthusiast, just going on and on about how good the barbacoa tacos are. We can indulge in being a bit of a foodie right now, posting pictures of food porn from different restaurants on Yelp, or proudly posting pictures on Reddit of our homemade food porn from our own kitchen. Jupiter in Taurus can be a glutton with food porn, so we don't want to get addicted to that. Unless you are addicted to real porn, then food porn and fetishizing food can help you break your real porn addiction. Like say your natal Jupiter is in Scorpio in your birth chart, and masturbation and elimination is your idea of how to move forward in life. Well, Jupiter in Taurus draws inspiration from mastication and consumption because it is the exact opposite. It's placed in the exact opposite sign right now. I remember several years back watching famous gospel singer Kirk Franklin talking about his porn addiction on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And Kirk Franklin has his natal Saturn in Taurus opposite his natal Jupiter in Scorpio. So I think his approach was to focus on singing gospel songs so he wouldn't get carried away with trying to release pornographic ideas from his body. To use his focus on the throat of Taurus so he wouldn't get carried away with the loins in Scorpio. But in reality, I don't know how successful a strategy that is, since that's how the opposite signs of Scorpio and Taurus aid and abet each other. Because most people sing their own personalized stylings of a gospel song when they are having orgasms, no matter where they are from in the world, or what their religious background is. So it is more effective to break a porn addiction by stopping to eat a sandwich, because you can't eat food and have an orgasm at the same time. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments section. So Saturn just went retrograde today, June 17th at 1:27 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. Alright, so there are many people and astrologers that try to strike fear and other freaking fugazi zaniness into you when they talk about the planet Saturn and planets that are retrograde. But I am not one of those people. I try to be a positive bloke and help you manifest and actualize positive energy through the stars so you can work through things. And so I can work through things too. So with Saturn going retrograde in Pisces, and with its ruler Jupiter being in Taurus, it is a great opportunity to just chill out and absorb what we have to focus on and work on for the road ahead. I mean that. Everything will be fine as long as we chill out and allow ourselves to respect that there is a foundation for us to succeed. We don't have to get out of the starting gate right now. We just have to be patient and understand and accept that there will be some solid ground where we can find our footing when we are ready. And we just have to be at peace with that right now. The moon is in Gemini today, and the new moon will be occurring at 12:37 a.m. Eastern Time on early Sunday morning. It will be opposite the galactic center. So we just have to follow the center of the universe as it seeks a better tomorrow, and breathe out messages of hope to everyone that wants to follow along in the universe's journey. At 6:57 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday morning, the moon moves into the sign of Cancer. And at 6:04 p.m. on Tuesday evening, the moon moves into Leo. So during the early part of the week, we will connect our feelings as we prop them up in the limelight, setting the stage for Wednesday and Thursday. At 10:57 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday morning, the sun moves into Cancer, and that Cancerian solar energy will be the new director of all the planets in Leo. At 11:08 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday night, the moon will conjunct Venus in Leo. And at 8:41 a.m. Thursday morning, the moon will conjunct Mars in Leo. If you have ever fancied or imagined yourself to be a burlesque dancer, now is the time to puff out your chest and beam out your rays of sensitive glory from your bosom. Allow yourself to bask in the glow of your role as a nurturer, star, and stabilizer. The world will be seeking this from you, and you will provide it. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The moon moves into Virgo Friday morning at 6:35 a.m. Eastern Time. And as the moon's ruler Mercury in Gemini moves into a 90-degree square aspect with the moon on next Sunday afternoon, we will find different ways to perfect our role of the caretaker. Mercury will also be squaring Neptune in Pisces in a configuration called the T-square. This will call on us to be calm and allow ourselves to have a more accepting image of our mental process, especially if we start to feel anxious from all the various and scattered connections we are making. Show that you can be calm and accept yourself, even as you try to rearrange and get a handle on your feelings. It is a process that makes us human. The moon moves into Libra next Sunday evening, June 25th at 6:57 p.m. Eastern Time. This is great for showing off your feel for beauty and harmony. The process of balancing moods will really be able to pour out into your artistic endeavors. Especially if you are already musical and artistic, it can really pour out now. Yes, the moon in Libra will be ruling and squaring the sun, but if you are fashioning melodies from the heart, your caring nature will shine through. Also, make sure your electrolytes are balanced, and eat protein, but not so much protein that it weighs your stomach down. At 8:23 p.m. Eastern Time on June 26, Mercury will move into the sign of Cancer. The moon moves into Scorpio next Wednesday, June 28th at 4:55 a.m. Eastern Time. The Scorpio moon will then make a harmonious, flowing 120-degree trine to Mercury in Cancer, which will also be ruling at 11:31 a.m. At 5:49 p.m., the Scorpio moon will make a 120-degree trine to the sun in Cancer, which will also be ruling. And then just 15 minutes later, at 6:04 p.m., the moon in Scorpio will make a 120-degree trine to Saturn in Pisces, and there will be a flowing configuration called a grand trine in the sky, and it will be in the element of water. The Scorpio moon will be further stimulated a few hours later at 9:28 p.m. when it opposes Jupiter in Taurus. So June 28th will be a day full of sexually flowing instincts. The bosom of the world will embrace sexually regenerative feelings, and we will stand proudly and regally, with a lot of backbone. Be proud of your sexuality. The world will find you and your sexuality very nourishing. Show that your sexuality can stand on whatever ground it is afforded. Show that you are not bothered by society's fears of foot fetishes, franken beans flopping out in the open breeze, breast, bumholes, bushes, blossoms, or bearskin artwork adorning the heavenly gates to your innermost walls. You can accept it all when you allow yourself to be a sexual goddess of rock and roll hoochie coo. Speak soothingly and carry a sensitive stick. But don't do anything in areas that would get you arrested for public exhibitionism. Now, Venus and Mars in Leo is all about rock and roll with some flash. Paul McCartney's birthday is on Sunday, and natally his sun is in Gemini and ruling Mars in Leo, which is what the sky has going on right now. Paul's Gemini sun gave the Beatles great versatility to show off many different styles in their music. But when Paul was screaming from the heart, he was emulating the style of Little Richard, who in my opinion is the father of rock and roll. So peace, love, stars, and listen to the Beatles. And listen to Little Richard too, and check out the recent documentary on him. And check out me now as I document my melodies at the piano.